Welcome back, Summoners, to another ProGuides video. My name is Christoph, and today I'll be going over the top 5 best support champions for stomping your way through low elo. This video is mainly for players in Iron, Bronze, Silver, or Gold, but can be useful for high elo players who are trying to learn support from a different role. While many think support is one of the easier roles in the game, playing at a higher level will require you to focus on your ability to make good engages, keep a decent vision score, and have good awareness around the map. Although this may seem like a lot, you'll have everything you need to hit the rift by the end of this video. Also, make sure to check out ProGuides.com if you want to see guides made by your favorite pro players. We have a new feature called InstaPro, which is on-demand 24/7 coaching with the best of the best. They offer a variety of services from replay analysis to watching one of your games. It's very useful if you guys want to get a lot better at the game, and it's quite affordable as well. Starting at number 5, we have Morgana, the Fallen. Morgana is at our number 5 spot because she's easy to play and can fit into any team comp. Her kit allows her to catch out enemies while also peeling for your team with ease. However, the main reason we put Morgana at number 5 is because she helps teach you the fundamentals of support. She's a great pick for anyone who's trying to learn the role, and is even better in low elo due to how punishing her kit can be. Morgana has a more aggressive playstyle than most supports in the game. Not only does her Black Shield allow her ally to play more aggressive, but she also provides a heavy load of CC that can lock an opponent down with ease. On top of that, she's an extremely valuable pick against champions like Nautilus, Blitzcrank, or Leona, who rely on their heavy CC to catch people out. And if you want to really be aggressive, then you can always flash in with a well-timed Dark Binding, followed by your ultimate and a Zhonya's Hourglass for a game-winning engage. For her runes, the best options are Summonari, Guardian, or even Arcane Comet. Items like Zhonya's, Spell Thief's Edge, and Redemption are usually the go-to picks for Morgana due to their synergy with her kit. Finally, let's focus on how to play Morgana. During the laning phase, your main objectives are to harass the enemy with Tormented Soil, land crucial bindings to set up good trades and ganks from your jungler, then use Tormented Soil in the early game to grab some free gold for your Spell Thieves, but you can use it even more efficiently by zoning enemies from standing in certain areas. This can pressure an ADC away from standing behind their minions, giving you a nice clear shot at hitting them, or even to help push the wave quicker. Next, when it comes to landing bindings, be as patient as possible. Throwing out random Qs will greatly reduce your pressure in the lane. Just walking up to an enemy without your Q on cooldown is enough to zone out the opponent. So just try and hold on to it and wait for a better opportunity to use it. This will both add pressure onto the enemy and make it easier for you to land. Sometimes using flash to help secure a good binding is also necessary, especially if you think it will secure a kill with a gank. But always try and guarantee a landing when you do this. Once you've reached level 6, using flash to get into range for a good ult is usually your best engage tool to win small skirmishes. When adjusting to the mid to late game, getting vision for your team will be very easy with little risk, as long as you're ready to Black Shield enemy CC and get out quickly. In addition to vision control, Morgana is excellent at getting picks for your team. She can look for risky bindings onto other pick champions like Nico or Lux without putting herself in any real danger. Once you've purchased a Zhonya's or Stopwatch, Morgana can also provide some excellent hard engage with a flash ult, followed by a Zhonya's just before they start attacking back. These kinds of engages can completely change the outcome of a fight, so make sure to save it for the best opportunity possible. Morgana requires some excellent timing and fast reactions, and playing with her teaches you how to become more patient with your abilities and a better player in general. Next on the list at number 4, we have Leona, the Radiant Dawn. Leona is a tanky CC-heavy support that focuses on locking targets down, engaging teamfights, and punishing enemies who walk too close. Leona is a very straightforward champion and is the perfect pick if you're trying to learn how to become better at tank supports. Comboing her abilities together allows you to lock down an enemy for around 3 to 4 seconds and can be used to both engage and disengage during fights. For runes, you'll want to exclusively run Aftershock every time for the most tankiness. Aftershock in combination with your W will grant you tons of defensive stats and turn you into one of the tankiest champions in the game, making you even more difficult for the enemy to deal with. For items, take the Relic Shield support line and consider choices such as Locket, Knight's Vow, and Zeke's Convergence for the best results. Similarly to Morgana, Leona will teach you a lot about having good patience. While Leona has amazing engage tools to start up a good fight, you don't have any mobility to get you out of a fight once you've entered. For this reason, even though you're extremely tanky, you'll have to be wary of when to engage, which will also teach you to pay closer attention to numbers advantages. Since you'll be starting the fights most of the time, you'll need to know exactly when it's a good idea or a bad idea to take a team fight. When playing Leona, you're going to need to focus on a few things during the laning phase. First off, brush control on Leona is super important and allows you to establish dominance in the lane. Try to use brushes or stand far enough back to avoid getting poked down for free. You can only go in, so don't stand too far up unless you plan on making a play. When you find an enemy walking too close, take the opportunity to make a good engage happen. As long as you're not charging into a ton of minions, you can do a lot of damage if you get your combo off and then you just get out. At level 6, your engage becomes much more deadly, and your roaming potential increases exponentially as well. If your ADC isn't in danger by themselves, and maybe you can't find some opportunities in the bot lane, you have to move around the map to make some plays happen. Especially because of Leona's tankiness, you can also look for potential turret dives without much risk. If you don't find any opportunities in the lanes, you can also try to assist your jungler by helping secure scuttle crabs, or consider invading the enemy jungle with your team if you're all far ahead. If none of this is possible and there's nothing happening in bot lane, you can still grab some vision around river and mid lane to help prevent jungle ganks. After the laning phase, you want to dominate the map as much as possible without getting caught out. Focus on standing as a front line and looking for the right opportunities to engage. Buy lots of control wards to track the enemy's positions and to also keep control of major objectives like Dragon and Baron. Overall though, your objectives are the same: punish your enemies for the mistakes and be ready to engage or peel for your team when necessary. The next support at number 3 is SONA, the Maven of Strings. SONA's another one of the easiest supports in the game, and her kit is simple enough for any player to pick up and do well with. As an enchanter support, your goals differ from a champion like Leona. Your focus should be towards granting your team different buffs in order to keep them healthy and get every possible stat advantage to help tip the scales of a fight in your favor. Speaking of scales, the longer the game goes on, the harder SONA will scale and become even more oppressive to play against. However, she is considerably weak during the early game. For our runes on SONA, take either Summoner Aerie for some extra poke and shielding power, or Kleptomancy for a more aggressive build. Unique to other Enchanter supports, SONA has a super flexible building path, allowing her to build either standard support items like Ardent Censer or Redemption, or you can commit to a heavy damage dealing build with Seraph's Embrace, Lichbane, and Rabadon's Death Cap. Now let's talk about how to play SONA. Starting off in the laning phase, you want to poke with your Q and auto-attack whenever you safely get the chance. This will slowly whittle down your opponents and works great against melee supports as long as you don't get too close. Also remember that trading an even amount of damage will always be worth it in lane, since you can heal up any damage taken in small increments. You can dominate the laning phase if you position well and poke without getting caught, but the real power in SONA lies in the mid to late game. Once you start getting items like Ardent Censer, you'll be able to empower your entire team, giving them massive heals in addition to on-hit damage and attack speed. This only gets more powerful the longer the game lasts, but the only thing better than all this is your ultimate. Crescendo is a great ranged engage tool, and hitting multiple enemies can easily turn the tides of a fight. Just remember that if you walk too close to a good crescendo, you can get blown up pretty quick. Most of the time you want to survive as long as possible so that you can provide endless heals for your team. To sum up SONA, she keeps you focused on paying attention to your team. Keep track of your allies on which ones need the most saving, as well as how you can use Crescendo to have the greatest influence in a fight. Your primary job is to peel and heal for your carries at all costs, and we believe SONA is currently the best at what her job entails. Next up on the list at number 2 is Lux, the Lady of Luminosity. Lux is currently one of the easiest but best support picks because of her ranged lockdown CC, high AP damage, and survivability. She's versatile in both her playstyle and build paths, allowing a lot of creativity. In addition to being quite a popular pick, Lux is super easy to pick up and can easily be mastered compared to other mage supports. As for how scaling goes, Lux performs the best in the early game and tends to slightly fall off in the late game. However, Lux is simply one of those champions that snowballs crazy hard if you give her a big enough lead, managing to hold a 60% win rate in games lasting 20 minutes or less. Moving on to runes, Lux has a few viable options. Currently, the best choice for Lux is Aftershock, which gives her great survivability if she lands a Q while getting engaged on. It's super easy to land and makes her one of the most annoying mages to deal with. Another valid choice is Summon Aerie, which is good for empowering her poke and shield potency into easier, more passive matchups. Lastly, Arcane Comet also works well to deal a bit more damage if you prefer an AP-heavy build path. All of these choices are viable, but we highly recommend trying Aftershock against champions that can easily engage onto you. As for her builds, they are super flexible like I mentioned earlier. Starting off, we'll follow the Frost Queen's support path. Afterwards, the most common first item is Athene's Holy Grail, but you can replace or add that with Redemption, Ardent Censer, or Luden's Echo. If you want to play like an AP carry as opposed to a mage support, you can try running Luden's Echo, Rabadon's, Zanya's, and Void Staff. Even though you'll be playing more like a mage than a real support, make sure you're still buying a lot of control wards throughout the game. Vision is super important, and with your team lacking the extra vision, you could miss out on plenty of potential free kills. When playing Lux, you ideally want to be applying as much pressure as you can, using your E to poke out the enemy, and then using your Q to try to land some sneaky snares from the Fog of War is a really good strategy on her. If you're using Aftershock on Lux, make sure you're not wasting your Q too often, since it's the only way to proc the Aftershock defensive stats. Aside from this, look for some roam plays and use your long-range CC to pick up some easy kills. Our Challenger analyst placed Lux this high on the list not only because she's powerful and easy, but she'll also teach you how to apply pressure in the early game. If you poke out the enemy enough in lane, you'll be able to start zoning the opponent away from the minion wave and easily punish them when they try to step up too close. And at the very top of our list, we have Nautilus. He's currently one of the easiest champions to play while also being one of the most broken by far. Nautilus has outstanding pick potential with his long-ranged hook, while remaining just as tanky as someone like Leona. On top of that, he can also deal quite a surprising amount of damage by himself. Nautilus is a CC-heavy, beefy tank who does great during all phases of the game and is able to especially dominate in lower elo. For runes, we 100% want to take Aftershock, as it's super easy to proc with either our Q or basic attack route, and make sure we're as tanky as possible. As for items, we want to start by taking the Relic Shield line, then follow up with items such as Zeke's Convergence, Knight's Vow, Redemption, and Locket to both protect our team and apply CC to as many targets as possible during a team fight. The reason we put Nautilus in our #1 spot is because of how capable he is of pulling off many different kinds of plays. He has the pick potential of a champion like Morgana, while having the tankiness of a champion like Leona, along with his own form of disengaging. He's absurdly good at disrupting teamfights with his CC, and the lockdown from his ultimate practically serves as its own ranged Vi ultimate. Nautilus will teach you how to pull off better tower dives, better engages, and make quick decisions because of how simple he is to play. Learning these skills will help you become a much better support player in the long run, no matter what kind of support you choose to play. Now onto some champions that barely didn't make the list. Braum and Alistar are both great supports that we would highly recommend picking up, only if they were in a better spot in the meta. Currently, we feel that champions like Nautilus and Leona are similar to the other tanky supports, but are just slightly easier to play, and currently a lot more impactful in the current state of the game. Another honorable mention is Janna. While Janna is actually in a pretty decent spot, we feel like Sona serves a much better teaching purpose for lower elo, and just barely misses the cut because of it. Additionally, since games often last longer in gold and below, Sona eventually scales into a monstrous powerhouse, making her also more effective in deciding games when compared to a champion like Janna. As for the other supports, our Challenger analyst believes that players in gold or below would probably benefit from these top 5 rather than the other ones because they're initially more difficult to play, or just because they're in a bad position in the meta. That's going to be our top 5 supports in low elo. If you guys like this video, then please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel in order to be notified for the next one. If you guys are interested in games like CSGO, Overwatch, and Smash Bros, please consider subscribing to our other channels shown on the screen. And if you guys want to learn more about these champions, then please check out some of the guides on ProGuides.com, where you can get in-depth tutorials on how to master any of the champions of your choice. And if you guys want another video like these, then please leave a comment down below and tell us which role you want to see next. That's it for the video today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck in your next few games, and we'll see you on the Rift.